Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here again. This is probably my third time coming to you today, but I'm only here because the Spirit came to me and gave me a message, and I just want to share that message with you. The message is basically that this time in history is an opportunity that most of us have never experienced or witnessed before in our lifetime. I don't think I have. And as a social scientist, I think about the beginning of this nation. It did not start right, and it did not get itself corrected in the beginning. There was a civil war, and it did not correct anything. A lot of people died. A lot of people went through changes, persecution, pain, and suffering. Property loss destroyed, but nothing gained. Maybe a little bit more hate. And then came the 60s. The 60s is when black people decided to stand up together, and white people decided to stand up with them. A lot of people died. Few things changed, but the major thing still remains the same. Over the past decade, we've had a chance to witness everything that's happening on earth. The bad, mostly, and a few specks of good here and there. We've had a chance to see persecution, suffering, robbery, deception. We've had a chance to see total exploitation of the human race. We got a chance to see how power works. Power, those who are in power representing a particular race or philosophy, and how that power will be abused by anyone, whether they're in one country or another, where it doesn't matter about a color. It is commanded by that lust for being more than you are. And so understanding that, ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here today, thinking about this opportunity that we have been given to state our case about our existence in life where we are, to make a statement of what is important to us and what we want and what we're willing to go for. And I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen, since we have, beyond the shadow of doubt, those of you who are not in unison with Donald Trump would actually call everything that they are doing over there evil. You would actually call Trump a devil. Not that he himself is a devil, but the spirit which is generated through him is a demonic spirit. And that those who listen to him are themselves are advocates, devil advocates, demonic advocates. And what they do is reflective of what the devil once done. And it is not to bring peace or prosperity, but to destroy. And so when you think about that, when you think about what is actually going on, when you think about how the nation started, when you think about how corrupt it was, and when you think about the only thing that they have to offer us today is to return back to that. Come on. And we know that what we consider as normal, what we consider as status quo, has always breastfed the outcome of what we have in our society today. So I figure this is one chance I get. I may never get this chance again. So I want to glorify God in the best way I possibly can. I'm going to say to all of the American people, the only winning slate we have is to choose God's way. Every other way might seem like it's a little bit better than it was yesterday, but it's still the devil's way. You might feel like you want to jump ahead 3 years, but it's still the devil's way. We have the opportunity like never before. We see the suffering. We see people running from country to country trying to get to borders. We see how ugly we are when we think about putting snakes and alligators at a moat just to keep people from entering countries. You see how evil our minds are. You see how evil and defective our spirits are. This is the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, for us to make a stand. Either we stand for what is right, we stand for God, or we stand for hell. We stand for all of this hell that's going on in America. Either we stand for God or we stand for all of this hell that's going on in America. Now, if you don't know what I mean, I'm going to take a minute or two to share it with you again, just in case you can't understand. The existence belongs to God. The wonderful thing is an expression of God. That which is not wonderful is an expression of that which steps away from God. This earth has all that is necessary for human beings, and that's what I'm focusing on right now, to exist from the beginning throughout eternity, having available to them the resources that they may utilize them to accomplish anything that they might imagine. And any time that the master who created the earth decides that he wants to change some things, put an end to certain things, and create new things, the master has that responsibility and obligation to do as the master chooses as within this earth. And as far as we the people, our imagination, informed by that same spirit, will allow us and direct us in the path that we should follow in relationship to any new things that the Creator brings forth on this earth. This, my friends, this meaning that everything that human beings create, that human beings can utilize, goods and services, anything that is created by the hands of man, after men have engaged themselves in the process, own a ship, is between the heavenly host, which supplied all of everything, and we the people, whoever needs, wants, desires, at their leisure, their wants, their needs, and desires met. Food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, infrastructure, anything they can imagine belongs to the human being. I'm speaking in terms of America right now. Belong to every American. Without, we will have peace. We'll have prosperity. We'll have freedom. We'll have joy. And our dreams will be made real. Now, this is what I'm telling you about God's way. This is the way I'm saying that we as Americans have an opportunity to choose right now. We have an opportunity to choose that as our way of life right now. We don't have to wait till 10 years from now. We don't have to take step by step and try to walk into it. We sit down, say that, and decide that's what we want, and sit at the table and come up with how it's going to operate. And don't get up and have everybody just sitting out there waiting for us to take care of business. Who is us? Those who want heaven on earth. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you decide that you don't want that, then you are saying that you want the status quo, or what we call normal. You're saying you don't mind lying and cheating and stealing and killing and hatred and terrorism and racism and bigotry and war. You're saying that these things work for you, and this is what you want, and this is what the power tells you, that if you want to rule the world, this is what you're going to have to do it. So this is what is before the American people. Peace and prosperity and joy, or terror and war. This is what is before you. There is no in between. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, there is no in between. Now, I know what I'm throwing at you right now is strange. It'll scare a lot of stuff out of you. But my friends, I'm telling you, if you go back there and say, well, I would rather have the Democratic Party with Donald Trump and whatever they can get out of this here right here, you are saying that you are choosing evil. You're choosing anti-God over God. You are saying that the pain and suffering that people have to endure in America is okay with you. You just put off an excuse like you can't do no better. That's the best you can do. You're just putting off stupid as being your excuse. Well, I tell you, whatever action you choose will be reflected in your future. And what I'm saying to America, for the benefit of every American citizen, I'm saying the same thing to the world, to the population of the humans on earth. The same thing that I said for Americans is the same thing that I say for you. I don't care what kind of God you've been serving in the past. I don't care how you love that God you've been serving in the past. If that God directs you away from love, directs you away from peace, directs you from prosperity and freedom, directs you by lying and cheating and terror and war and violence. Ask your mama who that is. Ask your daddy who that is. If you can't get no answer from them, then ask your children. They'll tell you. But why am I saying this to you today? Because the opportunity exists. The opportunity exists for all of the bull that we've gone through, for slavery, for the way you persecuted the Indians, from the way the poor white people have been persecuted, from the way people in different locations have just been persecuted for one reason or another. We have an opportunity now to change all of that. Not to write it out of the history books, but almost forget it, because the now and the future is so bright, and the cancer has been excised, and we don't have to worry about it any longer. Now is that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let us pass it up. Now, I know you're probably never going to hear anything else after you hear this. The 2 or 3 of you that hear this, you're probably not going to pass it along. And a few people more probably won't hear anything about it. Trying to get something to straighten this baby up. But anyway, but I'm doing what I can do. I'm saying it to you. I'm trying to post it out to the world. Now, I know those algorithms or whatever they talk about probably going to ignore everything that I'm saying in relationship to your joy. But anyway, I've done my part for today. Thank you.